Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Zarina. Today we are going to be talking about video games. How and when did I start gaming and why I continue to game to this day? Oh, I also want to talk about some things that I would like to do in the future in regards to video games. But this is my first step into YouTube content creation, so I would like to start by sharing a little bit about myself. The year is 1993. It's the best year, and you could fight me, but I will win because I was born in the best year. I like to jump in my crib a lot and talk gibberish, which evidently is still a thing for me, and dressing up silly. When I was about 6 years old, I got my first ever gaming console, which was a Nintendo 64. This was thanks to my parents. They bought it for me and my brothers, quote unquote. It was really for my dad, but we just got to play it while he wasn't home. I still have my Nintendo 64 and it is one of my most favorite consoles, majorly due to nostalgia. This was a time of exploration and bonding for myself. A lot of the times when I wanted to play, it included my brothers as well, if not cousins and friends. Even if it was a one-player game, we would take turns, try to help each other out, or we would play multiplayer games like Mario Party. Even my mom and dad would help us and take turns with us if they were available. The next thing I got was a GameCube or a PS2. I can't quite remember which one I got first, but they were around the same time. We played a lot of games together, again with friends and family. One of the big ones that we played was Super Smash Brothers, but secretly I'm not such a big fan. I would play it just to be with them and have a good time with them, but really, I don't enjoy it. It's not fun. This was what I would consider a time of learning. Like when I was young, Nintendo 64 was my time of bonding and exploring. PlayStation 2 and the GameCube taught me a lot about communication through games like Thrillville. You had options when you talked to a person on topics that you wanted to talk about or the style that you approached a person with, and this taught me a lot about how to interact with people in real life. Games like Final Fantasy taught me about strategizing and planning for the future, making sure that you had the right team composition and that you leveled up your characters appropriately for the things that you might face later on. And Jak X might be my number one favorite game, but this game showed me my love for combat and competition. Jak X Combat Racing is a game where you drive around and blow people up. It was awesome. It was the best thing ever. I still play it. I have it for PS3 now, a remastered version from PlayStation 2. After the GameCube PS2 kind of era, I got a PC, a PS3, and a Wii all about at the same time. I would say within the same year at least. Again, these were all bought for me and my brothers, but really for my dad. This era of my life made me delve even deeper into human interaction through gaming with games like Call of Duty, RuneScape, and League of Legends. Oh, and World of Warcraft. How could I forget that one? This became a huge turning point in my life because I had built the bare basics of myself. And through these deeper MMO style type of games, I truly began to understand who I was and how I wanted to present myself to the world. Previously, I hadn't been so nice. The early years of Call of Duty and League of Legends included a whole lot of trash talking with words that I would never say now. I can't bring myself to trash talk like that anymore. It was fun at the time, I would say mostly because I was a far more aggressive person and I liked the adrenaline rush of being able to scream at someone. In RuneScape, I would convince people to give me their passwords and I would take all of their stuff and never talk to them again. But yes, as I said, this was building not the foundation, but the secondary layer of personality for myself, specifically as an online individual. It was not good. I learned a lot then. So that was more of like the MMO style games, which I would say are my preference. But I also did play a lot of solo games. On the PC, that includes a lot of emulators, website games, etc. There's a lot of different stuff. Anyways, this time was actually pretty hard for me because I was surprisingly, I was caught off guard with becoming homeschooled in my freshman year of high school. And video games were one of the few joys that I had. I was no longer around my friends or around sports. I was a huge sports person. I guess you would say jock. But I wouldn't consider myself that. I played soccer and water polo. But yes, those were taken away with the introduction of homeschool. And video games were a really good way for me to get out some of that frustration, aggression, and isolation. These were very difficult times for me. On the positive side, at least I could video game all day. As being homeschooled, I was left with a lot of free time. I would often be found playing video games until 4 in the morning. Well, found. My family didn't really find me, which I kind of think is odd, but I would find myself dozing at the computer at 4 a.m. in the morning. Now that my foundation of online personality had been developed and my middle level had been developed, and it was like the cherry on top. I was starting to learn the things that I really liked and enjoyed and wanted for my future, which I would say that little cherry on the top would be my competitive nature. I always wanted to be the best. I love competing. And I've always dreamed of being a professional gamer, especially with the introduction of League of Legends to my life. I knew that you could have a team together, you could become sponsored, you could even live in a house together that was paid for by your sponsor. I was so excited. That was my dream for the longest time. Unfortunately, there was some what do you call it, personal disputes within our team, and we disbanded pretty quickly. I would say we played together for probably 3 years. Yeah, about 3 years, and then disbanded. We sort of fell apart abruptly. 2 of the members did go on to become professional League of Legends players. I mean, not hugely, but definitely they had sponsors. One of them lived in the house that I wanted to live in, and all kinds of shit like that. Oh, can I say that? Whatever. That was actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to play League. Like, the game was fun in and of itself, but the potential for there to be something more for my life was what really kept me coming back and playing League every day, over and over and over and over. But yes, that has come to pass, or has passed. The opportunity has passed. I played World of Warcraft for a while as well with those same people, and I didn't see a way to become competitively active in WoW, but I was always very proud of myself that I was a main tank and also one of the top 3 DPS members in any dungeon or raid that we ever did. That character was my Blood Elf Death Knight named Zarina. and now the name has stuck ever since then. Nowadays, I like to play Destiny 2 competitively in PvP. With the introduction of Trials, it has brought to my attention I have a lot of work to do. In the future, I would like to join legitimate competitions and compete for money in Destiny 2. I would like to host my own tournaments at some point, in the same fashion that there is League of Legends tournaments. Big ol' rooms, the lights, and the LED screens, and the teams come out, and yes, it would be super, super fun. As far as competing goes, I'm 100% on board with that, but it would even make me happier to host my own. I am also interested in being a full-time streamer and content creator, and I am in the very beginning stages of this. I have been streaming full-time for a little under a year now, and I could not imagine my life without it. Like, seriously, it's added such a wonderful dynamic to playing games and having the social interaction through the internet, as I'm an introvert. I love that. I can't stop giggling. I'm gonna cut all that out. But yes, future goals and dreams of mine, some form of competitive tournament in real life for money and prizes. Full-time content creator. Yes, exactly that. At this moment in time, the main games that I play are Destiny 2, Pokemon Sword, and some Teamfight Tactics. Some other games that I would like to play more of are Call of Duty, Overwatch, Far Cry, Borderlands, and Smite. If you have any games that you think I might enjoy or that you would like to see me play, go ahead and leave a comment below with your suggestions.